Hey everybody, I'm Raquel Harris with Black Hollywood Live, and I'm sitting with the cast of Madness in the Method. So for starters, we're going to have you guys state your first and last names and what part you guys play in the show.
Jason Mewes, playing Jason Mewes.
Mickey Gooch Jr. playing Detective Wayne Arnold.
Brian O'Halloran playing Brian O'Halloran in the film.
Awesome. So for people who may have not seen the trailer, what can they expect? What is it about? How did you guys sign on to the project?
Sign on. Well, so for me, the movie started, how it all came about, and then they could talk about how they got involved. But how it came about is I did a movie in London with this gentleman. I'm sorry, this is like a comfort thing for me, but is it interrupting that?
No, not at all.
No? All right, sorry.
No,
sorry, I realized that. I was like, wait a second, I can hear. So I worked on a movie for like 3 days in London with an awesome dude named Dominic Burns. We spent some time together, and he's like, hey man, what do you want to do besides the funny stoner guy, slapsticky, whatever? He's like, what other characters, or what do you want to do? I said, I really want to direct, but I also would love to play like a rogue cop or Hannibal Lecter type serial killer or something. And he's like, oh, that's awesome. Let me write you something. And I was like, sure, whatever, because I just thought he was like, you know, people say they're going to do things, and I just thought he was blowing smoke. Mm-hmm. Anyway, a couple months later, he sent me a script. He's like, I hope you don't mind. I actually wrote a script. And then I was like, dude, that's awesome, but how about we change it to this, where everyone's like really themselves, but it's a alternate version of themselves. And then we went back and forth. Then I didn't hear from him for like, we got the script to where we both liked it. Sorry, there's a plane. I don't know if that's loud either. We got the script. It's actually a helicopter. So we got the script to where we like it, and then he's like, awesome, bro. He's like, I think we can get this made. And I didn't hear from him for like 5 months, so I really just thought he went on and started working on some other project, because he directs and produces in England. Mm-hmm. And then he called me one day, and he's like, bro, and I was like, well, I haven't heard from you in a while. He's like, I know. He's like, I've been working really hard, dude. I got the money to make the movie, and they're gonna let you direct it. And I was like, no way. And he's like, seriously. So we started working on it from there, and we just started, you know, putting the pieces together, and maybe, you know, we can, they could tell their side of things.
Yes, I'm gonna come back to you about your directorial debut.
So yes, how did I get involved in the madness in the method? Well, basically, I knew I had a friend who knew this awesome British producer that we were just talking about, Mr. Dominic Burns, and they came to me and said, hey, would you want to be involved in this? And I checked out, I looked at the script, and I saw this really fun little cameo that I was like, this is awesome. This is a lot of fun, it's a lot of energy, it's my wheelhouse. And so they showed Jason some of my stuff, and then Jason said, no man, this guy's the detective.
Okay.
And it was like, it's a pretty big role. It's the detective is the guy that's pretty much the arch nemesis. He's the bad guy. I'm a detective doing my job, which means I guess I am a good guy, but in the movie I'm a bad guy. I don't know, wrap your head around that, but I'm trying to arrest Jason, and I'm the only one that really knows what's going on, it seems. But everyone else thinks I'm crazy. So but that was it, and I actually, when they came to me, they said, well, Jay wants you to do the detective, and I said, well, the detective, it's just like you're just kind of that guy asking questions, and you're just annoying. There's no fun, there's no screaming. And they said, Mickey, but if you do the detective, it'll be different, you know. And I said, okay, and I did the detective. I said, sure, I'd love to do it, and I guess the Dom said, I never met an actor who wouldn't want a bigger role. You know, I've never met one, and I said, yeah, because that other role was really fun. You know, I wanted to play the one with the hockey stick where I'm trying to fight you. That's what I wanted to do. But I'm very happy I'm the detective, and it worked out really well.
And being that I've known Jay for going on like 25 years, we see each other a lot on the convention circuit, like we're on this week. And so he approached me saying, "Hey man, I'm doing this script. If you're into it, I'd like you to read it. I got a role. Obviously, just read the part that says Brian O'Halloran." So I was like, "Oh, all right." And as I read it, I was like really flattered in the fact, like, "Wow, dude," because it's a kind of that was his goal in the movie. Jay's trying to get into a movie that Brian O'Halloran is producing.
Right.
And so his madness of getting into this movie, of studying the method acting technique, gets him out there. So it was really great working with him in London and this production company, and meeting with Dom and Rob Weston, the other producers and stuff, and the great crew that he put around it. And it's just so great working with Jay on the original Clerks 25 years ago to now where he's directing, and just seeing that arc of his success is just awesome. And it's a fun script, and so many cameos in this that the fan base is just going to love it.
I have a question about Clerks, so we're gonna come back to it. But exciting! This is your first time directing.
Yes.
How does it feel? What's the difference between acting versus directing?
Oh, I don't know about the different. Am I supposed to grab the mic?
You can.
I realized.
You absolutely can. Go
You
crazy.
guys grabbed it, and I was like, you were holding it before. I'm like,
No, go
I don't
crazy.
hold my own mic. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, I just.
No.
What's the difference? I mean, I feel like a big part of the directing for me is like over the years doing the movies, the more comfortable I got, the more I sort of saw things as they were, and I felt like I would direct. Especially there's a few independent movies where, just like me, there was people shooting their first project, their first movie, that I was the independent, like I was an actor on their first movie, and so like there was, I feel like in those cases, even though they were directing, I had more experience because I had played in like 7 movies and been doing it for years, and I would be like, okay, well, how about you go from here to there? And I noticed that, not on purpose, but I started like almost directing my scenes, not the whole scenes. I wouldn't butt into other people's stuff, but I would still be like, hey, I think I should come through here and do this instead. So I just noticed how much I really sort of saw stuff for what they were and really enjoyed going there. So again, differences though, I guess in this case for me, I was acting in it and directing, so I feel like there was the back and forth. But I guess if I was only directing, the difference is you get to tell people what to do, which could be fun in a sense, or try to help them, or you really can't. I know some people get upset, like there's line reading rules and stuff anyway, but I don't know, I just dig it. It was nice to take something and try to put my ideas, and there's like, there's all these things like where I still didn't know, and it's like you make decisions on, like, do you use a dolly track and sort of slide in, or do you just hold it on them? What's going to make cooler looking and more dramatic or less dramatic? And so again, it seems like all a learning curve. And then the lenses, I don't know, and I realize I almost blame Keven because he never learned, therefore I never picked it up. Seriously, he still doesn't know. I think he does now, the last like 2 or 3 movies, but for years. But it's like funny because I've been on sets with other directors where they're like, yeah, let's throw the 35 on and we're gonna do this, this, and this, and I'm like, oh, but it's like but I still have never learned. So I'd be like, hey, and I stole this from Keven, but he'd be like, let's get one of these, which is the waist up, or let's get it tight, instead of where some directors know the lens sizes, so instead of saying let's get it tight, they'll be like, let's put on that 12 or whatever it is. I don't know if it's 12, but. But again, it was very exciting for me. It was a lot of fun. If I get a chance again, which I'm hoping I do get the opportunity, hopefully the movie does well, and someone's like, hey, he did good, and I would want to be in less of the movie, only because it was so like half and half. I could only focus half and half. It'd be like, I'd come in and be like, let's do this shot and this shot. And then they'd be like, all right, cool, it'll be 20 minutes to set up lights and stuff. And then I'd be like, all right, I got to go get wardrobe and hair and makeup, and that's going to take 15 minutes. And I got to make sure I know all my dialogue. And so it was awesome, but at the same time, I feel like I would next time I do it, which eventually I will, I would like to just direct and maybe be in a small part of it.
Like a cameo, yeah. For sure.
Or write a character that doesn't speak, like a silent character.
I just want to say that it's super impressive watching him direct and act for himself, just because I mean this is an independent movie, you know. There's a lot of actors out there that are directing themselves and they make these great movies, and they have a lot of time to do that. They do the take, they go back, they get to sit, they watch, they got hours and hours and hours to really find in the scene. And a lot of this movie was, you know, I was along the ride for most of it. My character was in a lot of different shoots. We were in London and LA. I was in both parts, and I watched Jason direct this movie and not have a lot of time to make decisions. You know, like he was saying, you got 20 minutes to get in wardrobe because the lighting's going to be done. And well, guess what? And then after that, we only have 15 minutes to shoot this scene, so like it needs to be right. And so to watch him do that and do it right was just super impressive. It was awesome.
Absolutely. And speaking of things that are also very awesome that have been iconic for everyone at home watching, I'm sure, is the Clerks franchise. Will we get another Clerks?
Well, we should see. We'll see what happens. We're doing another Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Some of those characters show up, the whole Viewers universe, as we call it, show up in the film. And then we'll see what happens. You know what it is? Success breeds more success. So the more that fans come out, bring 10 friends to the theater, and then they bring 10 more friends, and then see it like Endgame style, like 3-4 times. That gets us the kind of funding, and it's being distributed through, Legion M, and Legion M is a fan-owned company, and so it's that type of thing where the membership decides what we want to do next. So I think it's almost like a choose-your-own-adventure game, where if you can do it and bring people out, and the success of it, we'll have more of the characters that you love.
Awesome.
How awesome would that be, like in Endgame, if at the end of at like Reboot or Clerks, it was like, at the funeral for Tony, it was like spoilers, it scrolled through and it was literally like Black Panther, Spider-Man, like it was like every character, like even the boy from like Iron Man 3, it's like how, and then Nick Fury shows up, how awesome it was, like Dante Randall.
Exactly. We need to make it happen.
Supply, Rooker, that'd be awesome. Let's make it happen.
We need to make it happen.
Copyright Jason Mewes. No, really, it was Avengers, but
Absolutely. And then last question. So this is Madness in the Method. I want to know if you guys have any madness in the methods of how you do things. Like for me, when I brush my teeth, I hate putting my feet flat on the floor. I have to stand on my toes. In bathrooms, it just, I don't know, it weirds me out. Okay. So do you guys, I know that's so far, but do you guys have any weird things that you guys have to do because it just makes you feel comfortable?
If I do a live show, like live theater, or if I know I'm doing like an hour or so, I try to do like a chocolate bar, like a Hershey bar, and like if I could find a Dr. Pepper, just to give me that rush of energy that'll only last for like an hour and stuff that I can do. Something like that. Otherwise, I don't do I have to do calisthenics for 5 hours before I do. No, I don't really. Just some sugar just beforehand is always fun.
Specifically chocolate and Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, like Hershey's with almonds especially.
Okay.
That's the healthy part, the almonds.
Exactly. You got to get somewhere, that protein. And you guys know,
I got something. So like when I was growing up, my room used to be very messy. Things would be everywhere. And I remember one time, my mom saw a cleaning lady come to do, and they cleaned the room. And I was very upset. I was like, "You just messed it all up." I knew where everything was. He said, the room is completely a disaster. And I said, but that's my method.
Yeah.
That's my madness. I like the chaos. So I kind of get that. Like, if it's not chaotic or a little off, it just sort of doesn't make sense to me. I don't like things to be too straight and narrow,
Okay. They say people who have junky rooms are more intelligent, or their IQs are higher.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there we go. Thank you.
Well.
Again, but most people know, but I would say I need a fan, and I literally every city I go to, like here we drove from LA, so I brought my own. But when I go to, like, we're going to RallyCon, North Carolina, next weekend, I always land from the airport. I head straight to a Walmart or Target if it's open, and I buy a box fan because I cannot sleep, or like even when I'm not sleeping, I just need it on. It sort of keeps me
calming.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's. Yeah.
I agree. Fans are very calming.
Right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then I leave them at the hotel. But recently, it's funny. People have been seeing me and been like, I left one for the maintenance man at the last city I was in, and then the city after, the Hertz rental place. The lady saw me. I asked her where Walmart or Target was close, and she said, why? And I said, I need a box fan. She's like, oh my gosh, what do you do with it when you come back home? I said, I usually leave it in the hotel. She's like, can you bring it back here and leave it for us? And I was like, sure. So yeah.
Oh, see, you gotta love it.
Method. Oh, and bath bombs. My new thing is bath bombs. As you can see, I'm bummed because there's no bathtub. A lot of hotels now are taking their bathtubs out because they're saying it's not very hygienical.
Yeah.
So this place, the bathroom's in there. It doesn't have a bathtub, but I brought my own bath bombs. You can see them over there. But I'm obsessed with, again, the fan, and I usually pick up bath bombs from Walmart or Target, and I love taking baths. I don't know.
I looked down at the pool. There is a hot tub.
I know. But
I know you can
Imagine
bath bomb the hot
that.
tub.
Imagine that.
I think part of it's the bath bomb.
You
Like,
gotta
I
bath
wouldn't
bomb
wanna
a hot
take
tub,
bath.
dude. You can't bath bomb the hot tub.
I would,
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
but oh my gosh, wonder what would happen. Would it ruin?
You gotta start.
Should
a
we
new
bath bomb the hot tub and call that our new madness in the method
50
technique?
bath bombs in the hot tub. Oh,
I'll do it.
only if you
I'll
do
take
it in your
one.
thong.
Well, I love it. Well, thank you guys so much.